I'm Dennis Anderson along with Pamela Fish, and here's what's coming up on Almanac North.
A proposed St. Louis County ordinance would allow ATVs to operate on most county roads. The issue generating plenty of public debate.
How do you create strong towns in northern Minnesota? Well, we'll talk with the president of a group that finds creative ways to build stronger communities, fresh off visits to Duluth and the Iron Range.
And we'll have the week's business headlines, plus a news file story from 25 years ago.
It's all coming up next on Almanac North. Hello and welcome again to Almanac North. Thanks for watching. Pamela Fish is here this week, filling in for Julie. Good to have you back, Pam.
Great to be here, Denny.
Excellent. Well, you might as well get started tonight.
All right. Thank you. And welcome, everyone. An ordinance that would allow ATVs to be operated on most county roads has been under consideration by the St. Louis County Board. If passed, all-terrain vehicles would be allowed on the flat road surface rather than in the ditches alongside the roads. ATV use would be prohibited on county roads within city limits, except where cities have agreed to their use. Backers of the plan say it will be an economic boon to the county, but others are concerned about the safety of ATVs on roads with other vehicles. Here to talk about this ordinance is Patrick Boyle, a St. Louis County Commissioner from Duluth, and Keith Nelson is a St. Louis County Commissioner from Virginia. Thanks to both of you for being here.
Thank you.
I want to start with you, Commissioner Boyle. The impetus behind this ordinance is to allow riders connect from trail to trail without having to haul their ATVs.
Sure.
So is that such a good idea?
You know, I think the county has done a significant amount of work since late last fall. And we've held numerous meetings, met with multiple law enforcement agencies. And you know, we've worked extensively with our county attorney's office, our sheriff's department, and our safety engineers, some of the best in the state. And I think we've come up with a really well thought of plan to present. You know, we're still taking public input into the meeting in Hibbing on Tuesday, but we're going forward. Yeah.
Commissioner Nelson, has this been in the works for a long time, even before it became public now?
You know, it could be said, Denny, that we're late to the dance. Counties all around us have had ATV ordinances enacted for several years now. We've watched with some interest what's been going on in those counties, and the truth is that we've taken a lot of input from those counties as we've drafted our own ordinance. It's important to note that this ordinance, although people talk that this is on the county roads, what it is on the shoulder of county roads. This is on the far right-hand shoulder of county roads, not necessarily on the driving surface. I think that has confused some people.
So basically then, it's not on the blacktop or on the concrete, if there is such on that county road. It's on the shoulder itself.
It is on the shoulder of the road.
Simply gets them out of the ditch.
The far right-hand side of the road, and it does simply get them out of the ditch where we've had some impacts you know, in those areas that are sensitive areas in our road systems.
So sounds like it would be safer, but people have been concerned about the age limit of who can ride those all-terrain vehicles and also the speed limit. So can you comment on that and where you're at with those specifications?
You know, I'd like to give that one a shot because I really think it's important that we understand that for 12 to 15-year-olds to be able to ride on the shoulders of our roads, they have to have a state ATV safety certificate. They also have to be accompanied at the time they're riding by a parent or guardian. Now, you know, the truth is, I would much sooner have those young adults riding with their parents with a helmet in a safe manner, supervised than I would have them on some of the street corners in some of the cities that I represent or in other areas of the county. I think this is a family activity, and I think it's really critical that we recognize that having youth involved with those activities, it's a good family activity.
Are people already using the shoulders of the roads? Have they been doing that for years? And we just, maybe they've been ticketed, I don't know, but we're bringing them into the legality of it all?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna move them into the 21st century, and I think the vision is these folks don't want to be on the county roads. They want to get from trailhead to trailhead,
right,
or to the gas station, or to the lodge. That's where they want to go to, and it's my hope in the future with the occurrence of putting more funding into these trail systems that someday they might not even need the county roads. They'll just be, they want to be on the dirt trails.
And Commissioner, correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't riding in towns or cities unless it's specified that they are allowed to do so?
Correct. I mean, that was one of the first things that when we brought up this conversation I wanted to make sure of. The county's not trying to trump any of our 22 cities. And there's different visions. What's happening in Cook is different than Duluth. And we're going to be very well respectful of that looking forward in the future.
We have a map that shows some of the routes that this will be impacting. And as we take a look at that, maybe you can, it's the green on the map that will be impacted here and will be opened up for the ATVs. But now when you talk about the cities, is that going to create big gaps in these trails if certain cities say, no, we don't want that to happen here?
Keep in mind, this is not a trail system we're creating, and there should not be gaps. This is to give ATV riders, as Commissioner Boyle stated, the ability to get from trail to trail. So we believe that the cities that we all represent, because county commissioners also represent the cities, we believe that those cities will make those choices. Whether they want to get ATV riders into their retail district, into their lodging and eating facilities. Certainly several communities up on the Iron Range have already embraced ATVs. Both Chisholm, Gilbert have ATV policies, and they've testified they absolutely want the ATV activities within their cities.
Commissioner Nelson, there's already been one public hearing that was held in Duluth. There's another one on the Iron Range, which you represent, next week. Can you tell us when and where?
It will be in the Hibbing City Hall at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday of next week, the 24th. But Denny, we've also held 4 other public meetings. We held one in Midway Township, we held one in Virginia, we held one in Ely, and then we had a separate meeting for all of the stakeholders that was also held up in the Virginia area.
So what have you been hearing from the public at these meetings?
It's been overwhelmingly supportive. Hundreds and hundreds of folks been to some of the open hearings in Virginia and in Duluth, and it's been very supportive. I think the main question regarding it was the safety and the vision and the partnership with cities, and I think we've been very clear on what kind of respect we want to do with that.
What can this do for the economy?
It's huge, Denny. This past year, the snowmobile season is getting shorter and shorter. We had 6 weeks, and up north that's significant. It's an economic impact, and it's not only that, but it's about folks living in the Northland that want to get out and have recreation. Up here, it's big, mountain biking, the lake walk. Our trail system, when you get up north, it's more on the ATV trails. So we want to be respectful for everyone in our community and in our county.
So it sounds like opposition to this is waning. Is that a correct assessment?
I wouldn't want to characterize whether opposition is waning. The truth is that, as Commissioner Boyle stated, there has not been a great deal of opposition. In fact, a local paper here in town, actually, it was the first time I had ever seen a newspaper ask for letters to the editor, and they just didn't receive any. And so, as we've been holding these public meetings, certainly we've had people concerned, but we believe that with the professionals we brought into the mix in designing this ordinance, safety has been the paramount concern. We believe that we have a safe ordinance. We believe we have an ordinance that will work for all of St. Louis County. not just for one small portion of it, but this is 4 million acres. It needs to work for everyone.
You bring up a good topic. All driving is a risk if you're driving with cars or snowmobiles or ATVs. Are ATVs inherently dangerous?
Denny, I've ridden an ATV since I was probably 14 or 15 years old. My 5-year-old grandson rides an ATV, but he rides an ATV with a helmet, with a safety cord, and with direct supervision. There is no substitute for good parenting.
Depends on how you're taught and how you're...
Exactly. We really are very, very impressed. I think the board as a whole is extremely impressed with the clubs and the amount of work that they are doing in education out in the communities and giving this industry or this recreational activity an opportunity to be done in a safe, responsible manner.
But Commissioner Boyle, we know there are accidents, even fatalities. So the experts, the safety experts you've talked to, how have they addressed that?
I think it's, again, going back to who we lean on heavily. That's our county attorney's office, that's our sheriff's department, and our safety engineers that work for St. Louis County. And overall, as a healthcare provider, that was one of my first worries. But the more the conversation's gone, the more clear it's been to me that I think this is something that can work in St. Louis County.
Now, you mentioned a special use permit would be required for young drivers. How do they get that?
The ATV permits are safety instruction.
There are classes?
And they're classes that are held by safety instructors, certified safety instructors, and they have to achieve that level of expertise, even at that young age, to be able to operate ATVs on state trails as well.
So it sounds like this ordinance is going to pass and go into effect at your next meeting.
You never know. I think we'll see how the meeting goes on Tuesday, and we're going to have open ears and listen to folks in testimony, and then we'll have the debate between us and move forward from there.
Okay, well, good luck to you, and thank you so much for being here to talk more about this and clear the air on some of the issues. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
Good
right.
discussion.
Nice to see you.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, let's dig into our news file archive for a look at what was making news 25 years ago this week.
Last March, a pipe failure led to Minnesota's worst oil spill on record. Over 1 million gallons sprawled over a former wetlands area, through a drainage ditch, and onto the then-frozen Prairie River. From casual observance, the river, the ground, the sites, it's hard to detect what tragedy took place here 2.5 months ago. The wetlands area is stripped of the oil and saturated vegetation. The drainage ditch cleaned and secured. Riverbanks, once crawling with cleanup crews, have been restored. Tests on river and groundwater, once threatened by the oil, has shown no signs of significant deterioration.
We had quite a major spill here, but the circumstances, the weather, and our access to equipment and contractors really all helped us.
The property itself seems to be coming along pretty good. I'm still worried about the river and the oil and the wells, and which only time, I guess, will tell us that.
Lakehead Company has submitted a long-term monitoring plan to the state. It includes plans on disposing of oil-soaked residue, water monitoring, and as far as the pipeline, they plan to subject every inch of it to more thorough testing to ensure a crucial resource won't ever again disrupt another community. In Grand Rapids, John Gagnon, KDOH News.
A nationally known speaker on sustainable growth of communities spent this week leading curbside chats on the Iron Range and in Duluth today. The talk centered on growing communities bit by bit, building on the success of local businesses. Instead of going for the home run and mortgaging the town's future, this focus is on the small victories that lead to a strong community. Joining us now with more is Chuck Marohn, president of the national media nonprofit group Strong Towns. And Chuck, thank you very much for being here. I know that you've been on the Iron Range this week, some very tough times on the range, but you see hope for the communities across that section?
Oh my gosh, I when I go there to the cities, Virginia, Hibbing, Chisholm, Grand Rapids, I just see them oozing with potential, oozing with opportunity. Yeah, I realize that the mining part of the economy is in kind of one of those cyclical downturns. But when I look at the opportunity and the potential in those communities, and really the upswelling, the vibrancy there's a lot of people that want to do a lot of great things.
Tell us about Strong Towns, what exactly it is, how it came to be, what it's all about.
Well, Strong Towns started out as a blog. I am an engineer, I'm a planner. I started writing more so I could figure things out for myself. And my thoughts and ideas kind of started spreading around, at first in planning and engineering circles and then out beyond that. And people encouraged me to start a nonprofit. Some friends actually filled out the paperwork for me. The Blandon Foundation approached me and gave me a startup grant. They said, we think these ideas are worthy of pursuing.
Yeah.
Go do it. And so we've grown this now from a 3-day-a-week blog to a national media project, just around sharing our message as broadly as we can.
I'm not even sure how to ask this question. Is Strong Towns an attitude? We need to change our attitude?
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of funny because my wife would tease me in the early days. I'd talk about the Strong Towns movement, and she goes, "What is that? That's you and like 2 other people." Yes, that's what it was at the beginning. It was kind of like, this is what we're trying to do. And now we have over 1,200 members around the country. We topped 1 million viewers or readers in the last year. So we have a lot of people that are connecting to this conversation and adopting that. How do we do the small little things that really add up to a greater whole?
Some of your material says that the current pattern of development in most towns and cities is moving in the wrong direction. What exactly does that mean, and what's the right direction?
Yeah, as an engineer, as a planner, I worked on a lot of big projects. Cities often go out and get those ones where you have the ribbon cutting and the golden shovels.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really good reasons to do that. They kind of exude a certain amount of you're making progress when you do things like that. What I found, though, in working on them and then analyzing them financially is that at the best, those projects provide a short-term illusion of wealth. But the city takes on these enormous long-term obligations. Now, yes, we may get the new Walmart, we may get all the businesses along the frontage road, but a generation from now, we got to go out and fix that road and that sidewalk and that pipe. And all that stuff becomes our responsibility. We have to provide police protection, fire protection. When you add up the costs, what you find is that the transactions work in the short term because someone else pays the costs, but in the long term, they're very net negative. We're living in the long term in all of our cities now. And so what we find is that all across the country, we're overwhelmed with liabilities without anywhere near enough wealth to pay for them. And that's a fundamental insolvency. The way you start to address it is by realizing that in those core neighborhoods of our cities, whether it's a place like Grand Rapids or Hibbing or a larger city like Duluth, there's an enormous amount of wealth just inherent in the way they're built. And all we need to do is to reactivate that are little tiny things. When cities plant trees, when they put in crosswalks, when they fix little parts of sidewalks to make it easier to get through a section, the risk on those investments is really low, and the return is often really, really high.
So are you talking to chambers of commerce, city councils? To whom are you speaking?
It's funny because I started out thinking I would speak to people like me. So I went out to speak to engineers and planners and found that we'd have some really good conversations, but not much would come of it. I thought also we should talk to elected officials. Those are the ones who can make decisions. Again, kind of, bang my head against the wall, not get very far. What we found and what we discovered is that the greatest amount of change happens when there's a broad cultural shift. And so we have focused our attention and been very, very successful in reaching a broad audience of what you would call like normal people, average, everyday people, and talking to them about their experience in their city, the little things that can be done. And the cool part is that these people just intuitively get it. You don't have to push real hard to have them say, gosh, I've always thought this, but I've just never been able to put it into words.
Do you give them a variety of bullet points to strive for? Or?
Yeah, we have our central presentations called the Curbside Chat. I gave 5 of them this week all across this part of the country. And we walk people through that illusion of wealth part, help them understand, like, this is why our cities are struggling. And then here's a way you can think about how to figure out what to do about it. And here's ways you can approach doing this differently. And like I said, people just intuitively get it. Once they see it, you can't really unlearn it, and it's very obvious and intuitive.
But you're talking about average citizens, and really to make change, you've got to get at the system. So, can you go in and say, boy, what you're doing with your economic development department in this city is not working? I mean, how do you get at that?
I would say in the professional realm, amongst my fellow colleagues, planners and engineers, there's kind of 2 types. There's one type who says, you know what, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, and I'm not necessarily buying the strong town stuff, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I think in a lot of ways, those people are becoming a minority, point of view. There's another group that says, I would love to do something different, but I can't die on this hill. Like, I can't fight the elected officials. If we try to do this, the public will rise up and say they don't want to. So, Chuck, while I'm sympathetic, there's not much I can do. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to do is create enough room in the dialogue to where people who want to make a change and a difference have enough support behind them to do it.
Have you been doing this long enough so you can actually measure success?
2 years ago, I would have said no. And we've, understanding that starting a blog in 2008, starting the nonprofit and getting the 501c3 in 2011, we've been at this a very short period of time. And a lot of that was trying to figure out, what's our niche? How do we do this? What is going to work? The last 18 to 24 months, our audience triples every 3 months. We're speaking now not in front of groups of dozens of people, but hundreds of people. And yeah, there's a lot of momentum behind this nationwide.
And what do you count as results or successes?
We've defined that to be, we're trying to build a movement of 1 million people who care. So success for us is if you are interested and captivated by our message, actually then sharing it with someone else. We define a person who cares as someone who says, this means as enough to me where I'm going to tell someone else about it. And our theory of change, and it's a theory, we'll see if it plays out, is that if 1 million people in this country care enough about this message to talk with someone else about it, we're going to have a groundswell of support for doing something different. So we measure success. If you hear our message, say, wow, I'm going to tell someone else about it, we're winning.
Are there specific things that you saw in towns on the Iron Range or even in Duluth that you point to and say, okay, this is a reason for optimism, this has got to change?
Without a doubt. You can look at like the downtown of Hibbing.
Can you name some of them? Okay.
Yeah, look at the downtown of Hibbing. Here's a beautiful street. Planners who do urban design, if they came to this street, would just salivate because it's beautifully laid out, it's beautifully organized. It is surrounded by neighborhoods with really high quality, well laid out housing. All it really needs is a little bit of love. I mean, all it needs is our attention to be not focused out on, the dollar we can find on the edge of town, but actually looking at the pennies, nickels, and dimes just waiting there on that street to pick up. It needs little things like street trees. It needs little things like crosswalks. There's gaps in the walkways between the neighborhoods that if we filled those in, people would come to town. Things, they're talking about farmers markets and different things they can do to activate those spaces. Those seem like often frivolous things to us, like as economic development people, almost beneath us. We're trying to get the 200 manufacturing jobs. But the reality is that these little tiny things are where the action is, it's where the money is, it's where the returns are.
Are people asking you where can we come up with monies for this, or how do you tell them? Where do you tell them to get money?
It's funny because I'll get that every now and then, like, where do we get the money to do this? And I will point out, you're spending millions today on things that are actually negative returning investments. If we shifted just a small portion of that into this other stuff, it would pay off huge. In my hometown, I'm from Brainerd. In Brainerd, we are in the process now of spending $14 million running sewer and water out to the edge of town in the hopes of attracting some more jobs and growth. Mm-hmm. we put together a little report that said this one neighborhood in town could use a little bit of love. We came up with 8 projects, $16,700 that we could do.
Okay.
This is pocket change.
Wish we had more time. Chuck Marohn, Strong Towns.
Hey.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Nice job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time now for a look at the week's business headlines from Business North. McGuff Construction has expanded its Midwest presence by opening a new regional office in downtown Duluth. It will house key McGuff employees when they're not on area job sites. St. Paul-based McGuff has been very active in Duluth, managing construction for the recently completed Maurice's headquarters. The company is currently working on the College of St. Scholastica Health Science Center and also working with UMD on a proposed chemical sciences building.
Jim Danhill Library at the University of Wisconsin-Superior has received the Governor's Award for Archival Achievement for preserving the Fraser Shipyard's papers. The Fraser Shipyard collection was acquired by UWS in 2013 and includes working design documents and blueprints of such well-known vessels as the Edmund Fitzgerald, the Mackinac, and others. The blueprints and ship plans have been of interest to academic researchers, ship engineers, and Great Lakes history buffs. A $50,000 federal grant funded the preservation project.
Aldi Incorporated is again expanding its footprint in the region. The discount grocery store chain, which opened a store in Superior last year, is also planning to open near Miller Hill Mall in Duluth. It previously announced a new store coming to Grand Rapids. Germany-based Aldi grew from a single location in 1913 to include nearly 10,000 stores in 18 countries today. It has annual sales in excess of $50 billion. For more on these and other stories, visit businessnorth.com.
If you have a comment on this week's show, call now, dial 218-788-2849 and leave a message, or send us an email to almanacnorth@wdsc.org. You can also visit the WDSC website for updates on your favorite programs and get the latest news about the station and upcoming events. And Pam, thank you for filling in,
Sure.
especially in the middle of your busy, great gardening season.
Yes, gardening is in full swing. It's
It
finally
is.
underway.
And so is your show.
Yes,
All
right.
Thank you very much. For Pam and the crew at WDSC, I'm Dennis Anderson. Enjoy your weekend. Good night, everybody, and be kind.